All right, we're back. What we calling this now? The Doc and the Fat Mamba podcast.
That's right.
How you like that, DJ?
I like that, man. I like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Today we're going to talk some hoops. You know, the NBA season is starting in a couple of weeks. What's the date? December like 22nd or something like that. So, you know, we're just going to give a basic preview of the season, talk about some teams that made the playoff last year, see where they still stand for this coming season, talk about some sleepers and some other narratives that are kind of circulating the season, this upcoming season. So, of course, DJ's with me. Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm Chris. I'm DJ's brother, and also the resident basketball wizard. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh, we're doing it like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Well, again, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the Los Angeles Lakers are the best place to start. Obviously, they got the chip, you know, last year. DJ is pointing at Lakers hat.
His favorite team, man.
Right. He's been a Lakers fan all his life. You know what I'm saying? So
all my life. Y'all know that.
So now, obviously, LeBron, King James, AD took the team to the championship last year. But they've also made some pretty major additions in the offseason, you know, showing up their bench and the supporting cast. So, you know, where do you see the Lakers this coming season?
Well, I personally, I feel like the Lakers, they won it because of the bubble. They won it because of the bubble. They wasn't the best team. They was the best team that they had to play against. But, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really have to play against nobody. You know, I'm like Skip Bayless. It was the Clippers. The Clippers is the best team on paper. But, of course, you know, you got Lemon Pepper Lou. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell, you know, he had a death in the family. And not only that, too, now we got to, you know, take into consideration.
Hold on, man. Grandmama died like 3 months before that. Yeah, come on now. He just didn't want to be in there.
You don't know what kind of impact she had on his life. You know
obviously a pretty substantial impact.
The cutthroat, man. Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, yeah, she meant a lot to that. You know what I'm talking about? Can you say that on the podcast?
Edit that out.
Yeah, we gotta edit that out.
We gotta edit that out.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Obviously, she meant a lot to the brother. You know
it's all good. Yeah, I don't even know where to start back. No, yeah. So what were you saying about the Clippers?
Y'all should have told me the rules.
You're right. We good. But the Lakers, what? So what you think? What you think? You don't think they're gonna take it again?
Nah, I don't. I think, you know, they got LeBron and AD, you know, and they're trying to build a little something, but I just don't think that they are the best team. I don't think that they were the best team last year. You know, I think that they went into a situation where a lot of people didn't really want to be in the bubble to begin with.
That's true.
You know, and you know, they went through the motion, like I said, and they didn't play the best teams, but they were the better team out of the teams that they had to play. Which, you know, there wasn't a lot of competition when they got to the playoffs. You know, Portland.
What you're saying is the matchup wasn't right.
Yeah, definitely.
Got you. DJ, what you think?
I think the Lakers repeat. I think King James is still the best player in the league. He's still the best leader in the league. I think AD is still hungry for another championship. I know LeBron wants another championship because he's still trying to chase Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And here's the thing. The bench that they have, if you ask about this year versus what they had last year, I mean, if you take Dennis Schroeder versus Rondo, that probably matches up about even. If you take Montrezl Harrell, he's probably a step up from what they had from contribution from both JaVale McGee and with Dwight Howard.
But not
I look,
not in the playoffs last year. Not in the playoffs.
well, they had a bunch of chemistry problems and everything else with the Lakers. I mean,
And
with the
plus his
Clippers.
grandmother died. Plus,
Well,
Don't forget
Grandma
that.
gonna be resting. Grandma need to be resting in peace now. I mean, he ready to play.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
He ready to play. Not to mention too that the way the Clippers did him, but they didn't even offer him a contract,
Yeah.
and they kind of just moved on without him. I'm sure he probably felt disrespected as a reigning sixth man of the league, and I think he's gonna come out with something to prove. I don't know if he respected Kawhi, didn't respect Paul George, but I know he will respect LeBron. LeBron's been there, and he gonna respect AD, and I think he's gonna come in, fit in well with them, and play some ball.
Let's stick with AD for a second because I think ESPN recently came out with their rankings of the top players in the league, and LeBron obviously number one, well deserved. AD was number
two.
Who, KD?
Yeah, he was number two.
AD.
The one I saw was AD. AD was
yeah,
number two.
Yeah.
No, I thought they moved him back. Moved him back.
That's AD.
KD's number 6.
Yeah, number 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
AD is number 2. So LeBron and AD is 1 and 2.
Well,
is AD the second best player in the NBA?
No.
What you think? No. What you think, Chris?
I think he could be. I think he could, but I don't think LeBron is the best. I don't.
Oh, word.
Now I'm going to say that LeBron is great, always have been great, but I don't think he's the best player in the NBA. I think he is just, again, see what people are basing it on is the bubble. When they went into that bubble, because and even before the bubble, because I ain't gonna lie to you, LeBron was balling his ass off last year. He was.
But Bron was winning championship and going to conference championship before the bubble.
Yeah, I ain't taking nothing away from him winning championships and going to championships because he was in the East too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, but you got to remember the year before last, they didn't make the playoffs before they got AD. You know what I'm saying? So, but
LeBron got hurt though, right?
Huh? Yep.
I mean, LeBron was hurt.
He had a groin injury.
Yeah, well, and see that, and that's the thing too.
And they were garbage.
He's gonna be another year older too. He's gonna be another year older. You know what I'm saying? And he benefited from the time off that they had before they went into the bubble. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that if you go through a whole NBA season that he's gonna be 100. And then you got to remember too, AD is known for getting hurt too.
That's true.
They both are known for being like Mr. Glass.
Who, LeBron?
Yeah,
not LeBron now.
Mr. Glass.
His groin for the last 2 years. Ask Skip Bayless. His groin for the last 2 years have been an issue.
The man is 105 years old. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt him.
That's what I'm saying.
So, Chris, give me your top 2 players in the NBA.
My top two. I'm gonna say
because I
really hadn't thought about that. No, because I can't say what KD gonna be because he's been off for 18 months.
Yeah.
Achilles.
But I'm gonna say Giannis and we talking about just top 2 players. I'm gonna say James Harden. But I'm gonna say that and we're gonna get on that in a minute, Langston, because I already know.
I just didn't see it coming.
He out of Houston. Oh
man, okay.
We're gonna talk about
that.
We're gonna talk about that.
But I'm talking about as far as 2 top players that can't nobody stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say those 2.
I'll take it. DJ, what you think? Who's your 1 and 2?
I got old GOAT James as number 1. And for number 2, I mean, if KD can come back and pick up where he left off, he was number 2.
Oh, if KD can
do that,
pick up where he left off, he's number 1. You know what I'm saying? See that, he's number 1 if he picks up where he left off. But see, we don't know, because like I said, he hasn't played in 18 months. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know where he is.
He hasn't played in 18 months. But what's one of the last things that leaves any ball player, that's a jump shot. And the man is still 7 foot tall. He's not
Well,
6'5".
still, well,
He's
if
7 foot
that's the
tall.
case, see, if that's the case too, then I would have to put Steph somewhere in there too, because Steph, hey,
Well, there's
you know,
a
just
difference,
because you
though,
can
'cause Steph
shoot,
is
just because you can
6'3".
shoot, don't mean you're gonna come back and still be able to do everything you did, because injuries do play a part.
They do play a part.
Yeah,
They do play a part. But with the Achilles that you know, that was torn up on KD, his game was just built just on speed. I mean, he's still 7 foot tall. It's still hard to
exactly,
get to that
Yeah,
shot.
that's true.
exactly.
Versus
Yeah.
Steph Curry being
Yeah.
6'2", 6'3", that's a big difference.
Yeah, but Steph didn't really have, he didn't have the injury that KD had. But what I'm saying though is, you know, if we going based on, you know, because what I'm trying to do is I'm basing it on what I seen last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really judge KD on last year or Steph on last year. But if I were to put them in, you know what I'm saying, from the last time that I seen them at 100%, they in the top, they in the top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, the thing
top
is,
3.
like Big L asked me who was my top 2. That was my top 2.
That's your top 2. That's
1
fair.
and 2.
That's
1
fair.
and 2.
Hey, okay. Okay. Well, see, but I mean, shoot.
I definitely would have no damn James Harden in there. I can tell you that now.
Hold on.
No, but I'm talking about from just a player standpoint, is what he does for his team and stuff. And I mean, he won the MVP.
He don't
for
do nothing for his team. He does for himself. He's
wrong. Come on,
right
man.
now.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
You just saying that because
come on, man.
He did.
Nah.
Because he did.
I can't.
Langston just saying that because Langston's a big old Houston Rockets fan.
What?
But he did. You don't believe that?
What would the Houston Rockets look like the last 8 years without James Harden? Would they have made the playoffs any of those years without James Harden? No,
not
at all.
Hey, Chris, was Houston Rockets have won the championship, if Michael Jeffrey Jordan would have played them 2 years?
Okay, see, let's talk about let's move on to the Clippers since we started talking about them earlier. Yeah, you got it.
One thing real quick, because I've been trying to get this out. And
get it out.
Hey, James Harden did lead the league in assists too. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that all he do is for himself.
I agree.
He gave you the ball in the last 2 seconds of the shot clock.
Who else gonna shoot?
Here, do something with this.
Come on, man. We'll talk about that though. The Los Angeles Clippers. We started talking about them earlier. Let's go back to them. So, what do y'all see them this year?
Playoff P.
New contract.
Well, you know what? Let me say this though. I really feel in my heart that if they can, it's the chemistry, and I think that Kawhi, playoff P, was promised a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying, and that didn't work though. Now you got Tyronn Lue coming in there. You know what I'm saying, to clean up the whole. They my favorites to win it all. They my favorites to win it all because you know what I'm saying, because it ain't gonna be all the same thing that it was. You know what I'm saying, that had players in there that was like mad, upset. Why did this person get to? You know what I'm saying? We got to wait on him for the plane to leave. You ain't gonna wait on nobody else, but we gonna wait on Kawhi.
Kawhi they got to wait on. That's Kawhi to live in San Diego.
That's what I know. That's what I know.
Yeah.
But that's what I know. And he probably still gonna live in San Diego. But I bet you shit changed though. I bet you that plane leave without him.
Because of Lue? You think there's gonna be a culture shift because of Tyronn Lue?
Yeah. It has to be, because that's been the issue that they've talked about the whole offseason. About, you know what I'm saying, the fact that players was resenting the fact that, Paul George and Kawhi was shown a different, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Tyronn Lue that won a championship. He's not promising nobody nothing. Doc promised him that probably, you know what I'm saying?
What Doc promised?
So he promised, hey man, you can take off whenever you want to. All y'all gotta do is sign here. You know what I'm saying? You can take off when you want to. You ain't got to come to practice. Whenever you want to practice, that's when we'll practice, whatever. Man, the rest of these cats are professionals too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like yo, you know,
I understand that, but
send me
we ain't gonna
somewhere
just
else.
drop.
Then.
We
Send me
ain't gonna just
somewhere
drop
else.
all that on Doc now. So you don't think the owner has anything to do with
No,
that?
I know he did too. I know he did too. But like I said, it's going to be a culture change because Doc is no longer there, and now you got Tyronn Lue there. You know what I'm saying?
So
Who's
you mean
also
you mean to tell
won a
me
championship?
Doc won the championship too?
Yeah, but like I said, but they went in there knowing that, you know, that there's going to be with Doc at the helm. They went in there knowing that Doc is going to let us do what we want because they already had this discussed before they even signed the papers. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, listen, if we're going to win the championship, this is what we got to do. That's what Tyronn Lue going in there with. You know what I'm saying? So it had to be a culture
I
change.
hope Tyronn Lue tell both of them, you don't need to be coming in here like you're at San Antonio, playing when you want to, doing load management when you want to.
I'm expecting that's what I'm expecting. That
when you get upset like you did in Indiana, don't force your way out like you did with the Pacers. Don't get at Oklahoma and force your way out like you did there to come here. They have to change too.
Yeah,
it ain't all on Montrezl
and
Harrell. They got mad because Montrezl Harrell was putting them in their place. I'm telling them, man, y'all need to come together and play. This man plays once a week. What kind of mess is that?
And let me say this, because I really believe that you know what I'm saying, that's what Tyronn Lue did. So listen, the culture it's got to change. You know what I'm saying? It's got to change.
I don't think he can change the culture. I don't think when he coached at Cleveland, here's the bottom line. Me, Stevie Wonder, and Ray Charles could have coached that team in Cleveland with LeBron James, old Goat James at the helm, because Goat James was the coach, was the GM, was the president, and he chose the team. Tyronn Lue was along for the ride. That's the bottom line. What did Tyronn Lue after he left?
Yeah,
what did Tyronn Lue do after LeBron James left? What did he do, Langston?
He was an assistant coach right after he left. Where'd he go?
Nah, he was a head.
Did he ever stop?
But he did get fired. But listen, see, here's the thing though about here's the thing about Lou, and here's the thing about with Cleveland. See, first when LeBron left, of course, I mean, damn, the cupboard is bare. You know what I'm saying? Because LeBron was the team, but
and the president,
you know, but as
and the GM,
and here's the thing too with Doc. With Doc when he was with the Celtics, you could say that, like, you know, you have to put the right people in at the right time. Of course, LeBron was, you know, he got people there, and you know what I'm saying, he helped do this and he helped do that. But the reality is, you have to have the right people in the game at the right time. You have to have a shooter in the game that's able to shoot, and if you're down, like if you up 2 or 3 points, you got to have your free throw shooters in there, you know what I'm saying, or whatever else, with 29 seconds left in the game. You have to still coach. You know what I'm saying? You still have to coach. There are still moves you have to actually make as a coach, as opposed to, you know.
Yeah.
Just LeBron, you know what I'm saying? No. The coach still got to coach.
That's true. And you think Tyronn Lue is the coach to take the Clippers to the top?
Well, I think he's able to, based on his experience with, you know, with being a player and a coach, a championship coach at that. You know what I'm saying? To let them know that listen, the culture got to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take off whenever you want to, and you know what I'm saying. You got to realize that, you know, your teammates ain't gonna like, you know what I'm saying, the fact that you get to, you know what I'm saying, practice when you want to, but we got to come to practice every day. You get to take games off when you want to, but we got to play every single game. No. I think the culture definitely going to change. It's got to change. If it don't change, they will not win the championship ever.
Well, you better call Go James and ask him what to do.
There you go. That's Go James. Let's go. See that, you know who we have, you know who we have, Langston. Jermaine. He's still here, right? and then we hear how much he say Go James.
So is Pat Beverly still the starting point guard? Did they sign somebody? I'm trying to. I can't remember.
Pat Bear's gonna be out there just running around getting tired, same as he did last year.
DJ, where you see the
Pat
Clippers, man?
Bear, man.
Hey, DJ, where you see the Clippers?
I don't see them getting out of the West. That's what I don't see. I mean, seriously, I think that's the game that and the matchup that everybody want to see. That was the marquee matchup. Clippers were up 3-1. Doc can coach, but Doc can't come out there and play for you. That playoff P that didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
That's on Kawhi and his piss poor leadership. All that didn't have to be on Doc. They're still, like Chris said, they're professional. Be a pro.
Yeah.
LeBron was ready. LeBron
like I said,
and Grace coming out there. AD's like, hey, man, I want some of this chip. Tell me what I got to do, Bron, to help me get there.
But that's what I'm saying, though. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the reason why I'm putting it off on Doc a little bit is because he allowed, you know what I'm saying? He allowed for, you know, them to practice when they wanted to practice. He allowed that. He allowed that culture. And he allowed that locker room to be divided because, you know, you got people saying, why does he get to be this like that? You know what I'm saying? Come on, Mike, again, going to Michael Jordan. He practiced every practice and went hard every single practice. He didn't care.
Even with a
You
hand.
better bring it. You better bring it.
But Kawhi said, you know what? I don't even feel like practicing today. I ain't practicing. I'm in San Diego. You know, it's 90 miles away, and I don't feel like going, so I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all practice. I'll be at the game. You can't have that kind of culture. You cannot have that kind of culture, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot have that. So that's why I blame Doc. And even Steve Ballmer too, but he's not. He's just the owner. You know what I'm saying?
He put his trust in Doc.
Right.
He put his trust in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do feel like Kawhi and Doc's reputations took a bit of a hit this past season. We'll see where they come.
And playoff P too. And playoff P too.
Well,
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, man, fella? Let's stop calling that dude playoff P.
You right.
Even when he was in the Pacers,
you right. He started calling himself
nothing.
that. He started calling, but he ain't never showed up in the playoffs. Not in Indiana.
Never.
Nowhere.
Not in Oklahoma City. Never. Playoff P.
Let's move on to the East. Talk about Milwaukee.
No, wait. First.
Yeah.
Houston's still in the West, man.
Yeah, we're gonna jump back.
Okay, I'm just messing with you.
Hey, you know what though, Chris? I'm waiting on Big Al to tell us what he think about the West. Who you got?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got the Los Angeles Lakers again.
Okay. And your top two players?
My top two players. Oh yeah, LeBron number 1, and I go with Giannis number 2. Ooh. If you asked me a couple months ago, it'd have been hard number 2, but I'm a little salty. But we'll talk about that. So let's talk about Milwaukee for a bit. I feel like they kind of they were the buzzing team of the year last year. Kind of fell flat in the playoffs. So where do you see them landing this year?
They need help. They need help. Well, and see, my thing is, Giannis is they're in the East, so they're gonna play a lot of Eastern teams. They're gonna play most of their games gonna be in the Eastern Conference, which is, what I'm saying. So of course they're gonna win most of it because they're the most, what I'm saying. Like they come to play every, But honestly though, the Sixers to me was the best, the most talented team, but they play too much. They play around too much. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, they play around too much. And hopefully that'll change with Doc because he's going there with a different coach, and he's going there with a whole.
You just criticize Doc.
No. See what I'm saying though, DJ. Listen. Here's the thing though. See when he to get Kawhi to sign and to get Paul George to sign, he had to sign off on the same thing the owner signed off on. Right. Now he's going there with a clean slate. He's going there like, what I'm saying, I ain't promised nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? We gonna play, what I'm saying? Because see, there's a difference, DJ. I mean, what I'm saying, of course, when you go into different situations, of course, what I'm saying, it's gonna be different. He promised Kawhi, because Kawhi went to Toronto, and of course he didn't want to go to Toronto, but he wound up winning the championship. And they did the low man. They catered to Kawhi in Toronto, and they lucked up and won the championship. They lucked up and won that championship.
Yes, he did. That ball bounced 4 times and went in. That could have been Philly. Could have been Philly. But you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Y'all know how they go.
And then the whole cards had to be right, because like Steph got hurt, Clay got hurt, KD got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, Kawhi did not win that without, you know what I'm saying, without all the stars aligning. You know what I'm saying? The stars aligned, you know what I'm saying, for Toronto to win that championship. So because Toronto won the championship, Kawhi got the most valuable player. Oh yeah, the Clippers offered him the world. Man, you ain't got to practice when you don't want to. If you don't want to play, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna load manage you, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Man, they offered him that, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't on Doc. That wasn't all on Doc, you know what I'm saying? But he's going to Philly with, you know, with a totally different, you know what I'm saying?
He going to Philly with a 6'9" phenom that can't hit the side of a barn.
Well, we don't know that because he won't shoot. We don't know that because he won't shoot.
Well, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you what, the best move that Philly made was picking up Steph Curry, giving that man a legit shooter. They never should have got rid of JJ Redick. They should have kept Redick to begin with. You know, when you get a guy that can't shoot, has no mid-range game, you gotta have somebody out there to shoot. Keep you honest.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, everybody know that the Sixers is my squad.
Word.
Langston. Yeah, that's my squad. Yeah, I'm talking about since Dr.
All
J.
his life, Langston.
Yeah, for real.
I believe
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so I didn't like when they got rid of JJ Redick or Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? Because Jimmy Butler was the glue. He was the glue that held them together. You know what I'm saying?
Did Jimmy want to be there?
Jimmy didn't want to be there.
Did Jimmy want to be there? Because you know, unhappy Jimmy Butler is a problem. I mean,
well, see, they didn't offer Jimmy what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? I think Jimmy would have stayed there because him and Embiid was tight.
Yeah,
him and Embiid was tight. But I think
they were tight.
I don't think. But what they messed up at was they put more into Al Horford and Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Well, they should have offered Jimmy the max, because they could have offered Jimmy the max. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't, and they were trying to keep them two. You know what I'm saying? Because they was like, but Jimmy was the glue. You know what I'm saying? And then we still needed JJ Redick because we needed a sharpshooter.
Absolutely.
You need somebody to, like when Ben Simmons, since he's gonna drive, he got to be able to kick it out to somebody.
Well, I think that with Philly is concerned, and with Jimmy Butler, the problem is Jimmy wants some dogs, and he didn't have no dogs in Philly. He know he didn't. I think that you said it earlier, Chris. You said Philly play too much, and you're absolutely right. You know, you didn't know what you're going to get from Embiid. Embiid might come out there and give you 20-20, and then the next game, man, where's he at? He out there taking pictures. He Peter Parker. You know, we need Spider-Man every night. We don't need Peter Parker out there.
Right.
So I think that was the problem. And then when you had, like you said, with Simmons, he's down there watching him every day in practice. That man can't shoot. Jimmy, no, man, we ain't got no chance in hell in beating King James. We have no chance in hell in winning the championship with a point guard that can't shoot.
But I'm not even, because listen, this is what the pundits say. You know, of course, I look at the pundits all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't shoot. It's not that he can't shoot; he won't shoot. So you got to shoot to know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he won't shoot. And when
he won't shoot because he don't have the confidence to shoot. You want this man out there just chucking up bricks.
But I can't just say he can't shoot because we don't know if he can or can't. That's what Jalen Rose said, man. Some of them gonna go in, some of them ain't. Just shoot them up or shoot the ball.
Well, you gotta have confidence, man, to come out there and play. And come out there and shoot. If he don't have the confidence, I mean, shit, look at Markelle Fultz.
Look at Russell Westbrook.
Would you want him out there? You want him out there shooting? No, he had no confidence. And well, he's still in Orlando doing the same thing, ain't he?
Let's so we talked about Philly, and I imagine they might come up again. But let's go back to Milwaukee. So, they made some changes, got Drew Holiday up in there. Giannis is obviously one of the best players in the league. So where do you see them falling this coming year?
I don't know, because listen, let me say this. Giannis ain't even he's not he won't even sign the max deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
you know, it seemed like he don't got confidence in the team. You know what I'm saying? So how can I have confidence in the team if the star player don't have confidence?
Is it confidence,
You know
or does
what I'm
he just not want to be there long term?
Don't want to be there. He don't want to say it, because if he did, can you imagine what it would be like for the fans coming?
But if you felt like you had
Yes.
the squad, like this is it. Like we the 98 Bulls. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna, hey, why not sign the max deal? But you don't have that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you say that?
Me, yeah. For the money, I would. But that's only because I'm broke though. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm gonna say yes.
We both broke, but when we was in Giannis' situation, I'm not going no damn Milwaukee.
I don't know, man.
When I got LA,
I feel like it's got to be a lifestyle choice, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because listen, hey, look,
what lifestyle? Have you been to Milwaukee?
Langston.
No.
Langston, yeah. That man family still in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You can bring him over here, man. We can own Milwaukee.
Hey man.
For 300, for 300.
Yeah,
might have to edit that out too. But, that's right. He's from Greece.
And but he's African though. I mean, he came from Greece, but he's African.
Man, we're gonna have to edit that out.
So his family's still in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Just his mom and dad and stuff was from in Greece, but he's African. Come on,
Milwaukee had the best.
What's his last name? Is that Greece?
You know what, man?
Man, Milwaukee was the best. Had the best record in the Eastern Conference last year. Are they gonna be the best team in the East this year?
No.
Why? Who's gonna be? Who's it? Who's gonna take
it? Well, one, you still got Miami Heat. Two, you have a Toronto Raptors team who's still very tough, and you have Philly, who's gonna be much improved. It's not gonna be a cakewalk. It's funny how that works, though. That James goes out west, and then everybody else runs out east.
Right.
You know, and then you have James Harden trying to damnedest to get out there. He's still hanging out with little baby now in Atlanta. Just trying his best to get out there, man. He want to get with anybody.
Nah. He in Houston. He took the test today. Yeah, he took the test today, man.
Yeah, he got 5 more tests to go. Okay, let's move on. Let's move to the elephant in the room, man.
When he head to the first strip club.
Let's talk about Houston then. Let's get to Houston, who had a solid season last year, I felt.
And the first thing I want to say is garbage. Nah, but go ahead.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? They ended up, 4th seed, you know what I'm saying, after acquiring Russell Westbrook. A lot of people said Westbrook, Harden tandem at this point in their careers wouldn't work. I thought it worked for a while, and then playoff time came, and Russell Westbrook was hurt for a while, came back, and just didn't look like the beast that he was for about a month or two early in 2020. But obviously, Westbrook now plays for the Washington Wizards. Houston has John Wall now, and James Harden obviously been the talk of the offseason. The rumor is that he's requested to be traded from the Houston Rockets, and obviously showed up late to training camp. So let's talk about Houston, or let's talk about James Harden, wherever you all want to jump in.
Well, I don't know what's going on with Houston, because I really thought that James Harden and Russell Westbrook could work with 1 or 2 more pieces. That was my initial thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Dan Antonio trying to get him to play the small ball.
Yeah, after the season was over, like, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying, with them two. You know what I'm saying, because they wanted to play together at first, and then it was like, after the season was over, Russell was ready to go. Now James ready to go. It's like, what happened? But I did hear that the reason they wanted to leave, especially Harden, is because the owner is a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
I heard that too.
And I probably wouldn't want to play for nobody like that either, because, deep down inside, he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? We're not on the same, you know what I mean? He don't even feel like I'm equal to him, probably.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much money he paying me, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But them brothers wanted out of Houston, man.
Yeah. And, I know Russell complained of the kind of culture surrounding the Rockets last year. I mean, he wasn't really explicit about what that meant. But he seems happy in Washington. But yeah, I felt like Houston, I was hoping that Harden and Westbrook were going to run it back because I felt like we got a third piece, or a third and fourth piece. We could really do some damage. But I don't know. As soon as the offseason came, both were ready to go. And, I just don't know what it is. I don't know where it's going to shake out. DJ, what you think?
Well, I thought that they played pretty well together. I think with D'Antoni trying to get them to play small ball and trying to get them to kind of maybe, I don't know, if you want to say trying to emulate what the Golden State Warriors were doing. But the difference is the Golden State Warriors had some marksmen out there all over the place that could shoot. And when you shoot and spread the floor, then you can flash. You can do different things like that. Houston didn't have that. Both of those guys are ball dominant. Both of them, as far as the usage is concerned, they both need the ball in their hand to be effective. So that kind of worked against them.
Yeah.
The first thing they got rid of was Capella, and I was sitting there saying to myself, damn, man, I would have kept him. I thought he was progressing, doing pretty well.
Yeah, because
but you couldn't keep him and have Russell Westbrook.
You need.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
This is my turn.
Go ahead.
My turn. And if you look at that too, and then think James Harden did pretty well and flourished pretty well without having superstars next to him. I think that the way his ego is set, the way his game is set, he really played better by himself. He didn't play well with Dwight Howard. He didn't play well with Westbrook. He's saying now that he wants to go to Philly or wants to go to Brooklyn, but I don't think he played well with those guys either. I think that if he didn't build a team around him, he would have been a lot better. He'd be a lot better off.
But let me say this though. Let me say this because this is, when he was with Durant and Westbrook in OKC, hey, the man balled. You know what I'm saying? Like he balled. So I don't think it's necessarily he has to, play the same. In Houston the last few years, DJ, he was all they had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with Chris Paul, you know what I'm saying, they both ball dominant, you know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily think that would work, but I think that he can play with a superstar that, like with Westbrook. Westbrook can't shoot. He can't shoot. So James can't kick it to him, you know what I'm saying? He can't, do what he do with the ball, you know what I'm saying, and then kick it to him and then Russell gonna hit the three. No. He gonna do what he do, and then if he kick it to Russell, then Russell gonna try. He got to take 5 or 6 dribbles to try to get inside, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever else. He's not a spot up shooter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just depends on who he's playing with. But I really believe that he could play with other people.
A couple things though. When he was in Oklahoma City, you said when he played with Durant and when he played with Westbrook, thing is that Harden came off the bench.
Right.
Harden was just now coming out of Arizona State. He wasn't at the peak of his game. It's different now. He's grown.
That dude was cold.
Yeah. He's the MVP. Yeah. It's different though when you're coming off the bench and you're playing third fiddle to Westbrook and KD.
But again,
you establish yourself. It's my time. He go there, he establishes himself down in Houston, and it's his whole show. So now you got Westbrook that comes in, and Westbrook is taking a shot. Westbrook is having you holding the ball much longer than Harden is accustomed to sharing. He's used to doing that by himself. I think that he just won't play well right now at this stage of his game with another superstar, particularly one that want to hold the ball as much as he does. When you talking about what Westbrook can't shoot, tell Russell he can't shoot because he's still gonna chuck them shots up there. I can guarantee that.
No, we know that.
But he can't shoot though. But the reality is, like I said, DJ, and again, I think that because James Harden had to do as much as he had to do. Now, when he was in Oklahoma City, like you said, he was third fiddle, but he was coming off the bench, but he was still third fiddle. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there was still, you know what I'm saying? There's a starting 5, and then there's James Harden, 6 man.
Mm-hmm.
But he was third. He was still third fiddle, not sixth fiddle, third fiddle. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. So that goes. Man, he was appreciated. They understand they understood his value because he played more minutes than some starters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they still played together a lot too. You know what I'm saying? But he was the sixth man of the year. You know what I'm saying?
He was.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember. And what was the big thing with that, Langston? They didn't want to pay him, right?
Right.
They didn't want to pay him, and that's why they let him walk.
Well, they of course they
wanted to pay Ibaka.
You know what? Yeah, but you know why? Because they did not foresee James Harden being where he is now. As James Harden. James Harden probably didn't see himself being where he is now. So with he doing the things James is doing now, and then you asking James to share that ball with everybody else, he ain't trying to hear that.
But he does, though. He does.
James won a championship now.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to sacrifice, man. You got to say because he could have signed the contract that paid him $50 million a year. Mm-hmm. He chose not to do that because he won the championship. So when you know you won a championship, you know you got to sacrifice. You know you can't go to Brooklyn and play with KD and Kyrie and do the same shit you've been doing. You can't. You know you can't do that. Like
I thought y'all just said that he didn't want to play with the guy because the owner is a Trump supporter, and that's why he didn't want the money.
No, I said that might be a reason. I didn't say that's 100% the reason. I just said that's what I read. I read that somewhere that you know what I'm saying he wasn't happy with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If he's sitting there thinking I want a championship now, well, damn, you could have had a championship in Houston. But you didn't want Chris Paul, didn't want Ralph. Who else you want, man?
But nobody in Houston wanted Chris Paul after that playoff season.
Right. Because I was just about to say, listen.
We're gonna select the memory on that though.
I also read because I do a whole lot of reading. You know what I'm saying that Chris Paul was like James Harden, like you shoot before games and after games, and Chris Paul would be out there playing one-on-one with somebody, knowing. That's what, and then if James Harden go to the other end to shoot, he'll go down to the other end and do the same shit. That's it. Chris Paul was a motherfucking asshole. I'm sorry. I keep cursing. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to keep doing it. I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though that I heard that Chris Paul is something else, man.
Yeah.
When it comes, you know what I'm saying, with teammates, because he wants to be the alpha all the time. Even though this was James Harden team. For a couple years before Chris Paul got there, he feel like when he goes somewhere, he's the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I mean, if the man's the alpha, it's going to show regardless. You ain't got to prove that point to nobody. I don't think you walk on LeBron James' team and start that kind of crap. I mean, when we sit there and look at Dennis Schroeder now, come on, I'm going to come and I'm going to start. I done played off the bench. King James ain't had to say anything. He's like, shit. You gonna come and play? We say you can play. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, you didn't come on there and make demands. Michael's an alpha. You know, if you got an alpha male that's on that team, he gonna let you know. I think that with Chris Paul, like you said, he's probably very difficult as a teammate. But at the same time, if you want to win and you express that you want to win, then you talk with Chris Paul. Not just all of a sudden take that passive aggressive approach and they got nothing to say to him, and you're mad because they talking about your man boobs and all the other stuff. Because I heard he was mad about that too. You know,
all that. I seen where they was in the huddle. They was in the huddle, and Chris Paul tried to shake his hand, and he was like, James Harden pushed it out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
But see, here's the thing too, though. Dude, that's the thing too, though. It's like you don't know what be going on in these locker rooms all the time. You know what I'm saying? And what they done said to each other. He might park in this parking spot. Anything. I'm just saying. Anything to make somebody mad. Just to piss somebody off.
I've seen the last dance. You done park
because y'all might not like each other. And Chris Paul might not even wanted to come to Houston. He might not even wanted to be in Houston.
So do y'all think James Harden's going to play the season with the Houston Rockets, or is he going to get moved somewhere else?
He's going to be at Houston. Ain't nobody taking on that contract. Ain't nobody taking a malcontent that's coming in there, and you don't know if he's going to sign a long-term contract or not. He's trying to
He's signed for 3 more years.
But yeah, he signed for 3 more years, so he really don't have any kind of leverage.
No.
He's trying to pull the same mess that
He
playoff
got
ball
two.
pulled.
He got 2 years left on his
Yeah,
contract.
2 years.
And they was trying to because they was trying to extend his contract by $100 million for 2 more years, and he didn't sign that.
I'd sign that bad boy.
Me too. Me too. Oh yeah,
I'd have
me
signed
too.
it.
But yeah, but
But
you
you,
know,
but here,
but I believe
where he gonna go?
I believe he's
Where's he gonna go?
Oh shit, that man, he can go anywhere for real.
No, he can't. No, he can't. You got 2 more years on your contract, dog, and nobody wants to more. Houston wants what, a superstar, and what else they want last year?
We don't know.
Couple first
We
round
don't.
picks.
I mean,
We
yeah,
don't know
well,
what they
I-
want because they ain't said what they want.
Yes, they
We
have.
don't know what they want. But
They had already said,
of course,
like
Stephen
they
A.
said with
Smith
Brooklyn, they said they want. No,
and Skip and Shannon, they gonna say, you know, we got to have Ben Simmons. If you go to Philly, we got to have Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid or whatever. They might want to just start all. They might want to just say, you know what, fuck it. I mean, forget it. I'm sorry. I keep doing it.
cool, man.
Now here's the thing: if he could go somewhere, and you got a player of James Harden's caliber, he would go somewhere. He can't. He does not have that leverage. It's not like AD, where AD will say, "Well, that's fine. You lose me at the end of the season." It's not like playoff Paul when Paul said, "Oh, that's fine, Indiana. You just lose me, and I'll walk at the end of the season." No, dog. You got 2 years on your contract.
You
And
do
with the amount of money, and everybody's saying, I mean, they're not going to just give you away for nothing. If anything else, okay, you sit, but you're going to be here. You still on the bench, but I mean, you can sit out, but then we'll fine you, and you're going to get paid. And if the man's a competitor, he's going to come out there and play.
Yeah.
And
Well,
here's
I mean,
the thing: if you sign your contract, honor your contract.
Yeah,
Honor
I'm gonna honor
If
mine
not,
anyway. But if I don't want to
yeah.
be there, I ain't gonna be there. And then see, here's the thing too, though, DJ. You know, if somebody don't want to be somewhere, man, they can make the locker room toxic. You know what I'm saying? They could do a whole lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, well, you be like, yo, you know, we gotta get rid of this dude. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever else, you know what I'm saying, we gotta get rid of this dude. So, you know, again, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, that just don't, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure it's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, man. But the thing is this: if you sign your contract and you got 2 more years, honor your contract.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to do it, if you didn't want to do it, then you need to do what LeBron James did and sign a 1-year extender and with an option to opt out. And if you're not doing that, and that's not what your agent is suggesting for you, then you got to play your contract.
DJ,
simple as that.
In a perfect world, that sounds great.
No, nobody's saying it's a
No,
perfect world.
listen.
All I'm saying is,
my turn.
I guarantee this.
My turn.
I
I don't know if I interrupt you because you be like,
I know, but you got to run over the whole time. You're talking the entire time.
Listen, AD, Anthony Davis, he wanted out of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
He still had time left on his contract, DJ. He wanted out.
No, he didn't. What? Langston? What?
He didn't want out of New Orleans?
In New Orleans, he had what, 1 year?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He had a year. He had a year left on his contract.
That's it.
He had a year left on his contract.
And they had the option to either you sign him now or you're going to lose them for nothing.
Okay.
You'll let him walk and you'll get nothing for him.
But
and that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Paul George did it twice.
1 year or you're losing for nothing. James can't do that because he has 2 years. He doesn't have the leverage.
But still, what I'm saying though, but listen, DJ, I'm telling you what I was saying today, because they were talking about this shit today. You know what I'm saying on TV, that how he made it ugly. You know what I'm saying? They said because they were saying that because they was comparing James Harden to Anthony Davis, and they were saying that like when Anthony Davis was doing that shit, that stuff that you don't even remember it now, but it was ugly down in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? The whole locker room, everything was ugly because Anthony Davis didn't want to be there. And it was just ugly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The whole environment was ugly. Everything was just ugly. So it's the same thing, except it's just 1 year or 2 years. If somebody want out of somewhere, they can make it ugly. They can make the whole locker room ugly. They can make the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole culture just ugly. Just get rid of it. If somebody don't want to be somewhere, just get rid of them.
But the difference is this, is that one, New Orleans had pieces to offer. There's no takers right now for James Harden because you got Doc Rim saying, well, we're not giving up Ben Simmons. You got Brooklyn saying, shit, man, we're not giving up Kyrie. You got Miami that's down saying, no, we got some nice young pieces. But who knows? I mean, Pat Riley will cut a deal if he think it's going to be an advantage, they could win. But the difference is this, that, you know, they knew they had the number 1 pick. So then when they picked up Zion, and I remember saying that when the Zion, they get a chance to meet AD. AD didn't seem interested. But at the same time, the Lakers have some young pieces that they could trade and kind of make that work. And they also got a nice pick in for that. With Harden, you just don't have that right now. I think it'd be interesting if he could go somewhere else. I just don't see if he is.
I think any team would be begging to get Harden.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, but what are they going to give up, Langston? What are they going to give up? Langston?
I think Philly would give up Simmons. You don't think they would give up Simmons?
They give up Simmons, but it's not just Simmons. They're going to say, we also want a couple of your first-round picks, and we also want maybe Tobias, or we want some other pieces too. They're going to want a whole king ransom for him.
I mean, Morey loves Harden, man.
Huh?
Go ahead, Chris.
Because I remember, just like it was yesterday, when the Lakers was trying to get AD or whatever else, the piece that everybody wanted was Kyle Kuzma. They ain't care nothing about Brandon Ingram. They ain't care nothing about Lonzo Ball. They wanted Kyle Kuzma. And somehow that's what took so long for the trade to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's the same thing with Harden. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course you ain't gonna get the piece that you know, but in the end, it's like, well, do we really want this cancer in the locker room? Or are we gonna, you know, do what we got to do just to make something happen? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened. Now you can laugh and say, "Yo, well, okay, well, Kyle Kuzma, they should have gave him up because he ain't did nothing." You know what I'm saying? But at that particular time, you know what I'm saying, everybody wanted Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. So where do you see Harden going, Chris?
I don't know, but I see him leaving. Houston because he don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and if somebody don't want to be there, I mean, you could try to hold on to him for a year, but if you hold on to him for a year, then next year he still don't want to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you know he's gonna make the locker room difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how people are, even at work, like a regular 9-to-5 job. You know who don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? And you know so who comes to work every day complaining, you know, about the job. And they make it toxic for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
DJ.
But I still say the difference is based on a contract that he has 2 or 3 years. So Houston can still say too, they can put their foot down and say, you know what? We ain't gonna just be forced like this. You sign the contract, you either play it or you can sit. We can do either one. But we are going to get some decent pieces before we just give you away. And I think that's what Houston prepared to do. And they're not going to just let him walk all over.
Let's move on to one of the teams that's on that's part of these James Harden rumors, the Brooklyn Nets, who obviously have KD, Kevin Durant, coming back after a year off and an Achilles injury, which is, you know, commonly devastating. So, you know, we'll have to see where how he plays when he comes back. But where do you see Brooklyn?
Well, here's the thing. I like what Brooklyn has on paper. I like the young players that they have with LeVert, with Dinwiddie, with Allen. Here's the thing. It's about chemistry. Kyrie can be a malcontent when he wants to be as well. KD can be very fickle and thin-skinned. We're going to have to see him play some games first. I want to see them play games first. I still say the Toronto is going to be a tough team to beat. I still say the Miami Heat is going to be a tough team to beat. They've been through the fire together. They got veterans that's on there. They played well together. And we'll have to see. I mean, now, with Brooklyn, no less, Kyrie has championship. KD has championship. They can get you there. But they have to play together in order to do that. And I just don't know if they're better than Toronto as a team. I don't know if they're better than Philly as a team. We'll have to see what happens.
I don't know. You know, the Miami Heat, and we can move to them, obviously had an incredible run, you know, in the bubble, right? You know, went all the way to the championship, you know, lost to the Lakers, but I don't think anybody saw them coming out of the East that year. And maybe that's all of us underestimating Jimmy Butler and what he brings to the table. But, you know, I just don't see the Heat winning a championship with, you know, that team as it's currently assembled. And I do feel like getting a piece like James Harden, you know, who can take over a game and who can produce points, buckets. I think that could at least make them competitive in terms of a championship win. You know what I'm saying? What you think?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but who knows? I mean, Miami might say, let's take one more chance and run it back with the guys we have. And if we're not successful, then let's throw in our name in the hat for Giannis. There's other free agents that are going to be coming. I don't have to sit around and just wait for Harden. I know what Harden brings to the table, but I can also wait and see if anything else materializes too. That's true. They have the luxury of a time on their side. They got a young team. They're going to come out and they're going to play a full season off a 77-day rest. So they still got young kids with young legs. I like Miami Heat chances.
Okay. Let's see who to move to next. Let's jump back over to the Western Conference and talk about Denver, who obviously was one of the top 3 teams in the West last year. Kind of sputtered out in the playoffs, but obviously a team, you know, on the up, right? So where do you see them going next year?
They are one of the reasons why I say the LA Clippers will not win and will not come out of the West. I think that Denver is going to get better. They're only going to get better. Murray is only going to get better. Jokic is going to get better. Michael Porter Jr. is going to get better. You got Big Bo coming off the bench. He's going to get better. So you got these young pieces right now that are saying, hey, we play in the playoffs. We're not afraid. We are just as hungry as the Clippers. They just gave Paul George max salary today, 5-year, $225 million. You know how many strip lap dances he can get with that?
Oh man, that's a married man, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
he was also married here in Indiana. Don't get me started.
No, let's not go there.
Let's not go there. Yeah,
I know.
So we ain't need to go there. But I'm just trying to tell you that I don't think that I don't know if the Clippers got the moxie to come back and try to win that championship again. The way they were dismantled, they were up 3-1 against Denver.
Yeah.
Now you play Denver again. Denver is much more confident.
I agree.
Denver's only going to get better. That's not going to be a walk in the park.
You know, not to keep talking about Harden, but obviously, rumor is today that he added, I think, Miami, Milwaukee, and Denver to teams, you know, his preferred destination. So I'm wondering, that's the thing about Denver that I'm just not sure about. You know, do they have a closer? Is Jamal Murray that guy? I'm not sure. The Joker is. Is Jamal Murray that guy? I mean, we saw he put it down in the playoffs.
He did.
He did.
Telling you, he is on the cusp of being that guy.
Okay.
He potentially can be that guy. You know what I do, Langston? Stay around another year or so, he'll be getting those calls the superstars get. He gonna get that confidence the superstars usually come in with. He gonna have that swag, and then knowing he got Jokic right there. Like I said, Michael Porter Jr. You have to be impressed with him.
Absolutely.
You have to be impressed with his upside and understanding that this man can play some ball too. And they play well together. And then you look at the other pieces they have with Gary Harris coming off and being productive. This team It's going places, man. I like their upside, believe it or not, better than the Clippers. Now, with Christmas, he was talking
Yes.
about
Yeah.
Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless probably go against me on this one, but I'm just looking at the eye test, and I've been watching basketball too for over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I see it, this potentially could be a special team.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And let's stick with the West, and because a lot of pundits, have been talking about Portland, right, and all the moves they
Mm-hmm.
made this year. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, they had a strong run in the bubble. Lillard was
Yes, they
killing it
did.
until he went out with an injury. And this offseason, they brought in Enes Kanter, Robert Covington, and made some other great moves. So, where do you see them going this year?
I like those pieces they added. I like Robert Covington outside shooting. I like Cantor's toughness down on the block, which I think that was one of the biggest weaknesses that Portland had. They
Agreed.
didn't really have an interior presence right there. And but the only thing is you know, they're getting older. I just wonder if they're one of those teams in which they have had a small window of opportunity to maybe go forth, and luck is just not on their side.
Yeah.
If you turn around and you look at all those great teams in the '90s, so you look and say, "Dang, could New York have won a championship? Could the Pacers have won a
Indiana,
championship?"
yeah.
But you had Michael Jeffrey Jordan that was standing in front of you, and that's the reason why you couldn't. And okay, you got King James standing there. He took a championship last year. You've had Steph Curry and his boys over in Golden State, and they won a few championships and kept you from really doing some things. And then I'm looking now, did your window of opportunity close? Denver's getting better.
Yeah.
You may be able to up it and come in a little bit more because I don't see Houston getting any better with their losses with Westbrook, with their uncertainty with James Harden, and their lack of interior presence. They're playing small ball. That roster basically been gutted. So it's almost like Houston.
Come on, Houston.
Yeah.
Nah, small ball is gone, man.
Yeah,
Christian
small ball.
Wood.
That's what I'm saying.
Christian,
But
yeah.
that's the roster that they have now. But you got to change all that around.
They
and
did.
with that uncertainty.
They got
Well, who? I mean, you
Big
still
DeMarcus.
Okay.
Marcus Cousins. Christian Wood.
Okay.
Christian Wood. Come on. This is the first time. This is the first time James Harden, if he stays, I feel like has a team that's kind of maxed out and built to his strengths. You know what I'm saying? All those players can step outside. You know what I'm saying? And they can go down low. You know what I'm saying? There's no one clogging the lane. This is built for him. John Wall come back from Achilles. I know.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
A better fit than Russell Westbrook, I think.
Okay, and DeMarcus Cousins.
I understand.
Horrendous injury.
I understand. DeMarcus looked good in Golden State when he came back, and then he had the broken leg or whatever. He came back from the Achilles, kind of hooping. It wasn't the same DeMarcus Cousins that we saw in Sacramento and New Orleans. That's true.
No.
It's true.
And
but in terms of interior presence and a big man who could still step out and shoot, he's still that guy, I think.
Okay. Convince me of that after you get James on board. You got to get James on board first.
If we don't get James on board, all the old cats got to go.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's the bottom line.
James has got one foot out the door and the other on the banana peel. He ready to slide on up out of there any way he can get out of there. I'm not sold on them at all. Don't sell me on that until you get James on board. James ain't on board. Ain't buying it.
Getting back to Portland, I like Portland every year. But every year, Damian Lillard has, these incredible playoff moments. And then every year, it just sputters out. Yeah. He gets swept. He gets hurt. I just don't trust him. I don't know. I hope he can change my mind this year, though.
So what do? You get rid of McCollum and try to find another solid closer? I mean, I think they both
don't know who that guy is
together. I think they got solid chemistry together.
Yeah.
I hate it for. I mean, they got Melo, and Melo, had played pretty well last year.
He played pretty okay. Yeah.
But you needed Melo from like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and that's not him.
And that's not him. So I'm not sold on him as being the kind of person or the teammate that's going to carry you over the top. You know,
Absolutely
so
not.
I'm.
Absolutely not. Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I know people.
They're one and done.
He
They're one and done.
Carmelo Anthony had a strong comeback, and I'm glad he made it. But you know, people, you know, every time he went 6 for 15, people were like, "Oh, Carmelo's back." You know what I'm saying? Then the next game, he would go 0 for 11, and nobody's talking no more. And I'm like, wait a minute, they gave him the Player of the Month over James Harden, who's balling out of control, man.
But I'm gonna tell you what, I really wish he could have been with the Lakers to get him a championship.
I wish he would have too.
And then he wouldn't have sat it behind down somewhere. He wants a chip, and I ain't mad at him. But it's almost like I don't want you to be like Charles Barkley, man. Just chip chase him at the end. I mean, he had an illustrious career, prolific scorer, and everything. I won't put him on Mount Rushmore, but I would definitely say it'd be Hall of Fame worthy. Absolutely.
Let's move on to Dallas, actually, because obviously they were a team on the come up last year, made some major strides. Luka became one of the 10 best players in NBA. ESPN just had him at number 4 over a lot of great players. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about that, but I mean,
that's a little high.
Stats went crazy last year, and I mean, obviously he gave us a lot to look at. But where do you see Luka in Dallas next year?
Doing about the same thing. Doing the same thing. The unicorn they have Porzingis. Can he stay healthy?
That's the question.
If he can stay healthy, and then another piece or two, we could talk about them contending for the West. But for what they have right now, ain't so like Portland, one and done.
I think I agree with that. I think
First round, you out of there. I mean, and here's another thing too. You got to figure Porzingis. I mean, not Porzingis with Luka. He played really well in the bubble. Now we're talking about if you're outside the bubble in an 82-game schedule, can you still hold up?
But he was balling before the bubble.
He had long rest too.
That's true.
I mean,
that's very true.
I think let me see you on your ups and downs and your swing. I can say King James because James been through it. Not just the bubble, but he's been through it. I ain't seen Luka go through all this yet. And not to mention Porzingis. Can he stay healthy?
Eternal question mark.
Yeah.
Speaking of bubble teams, real quick, you know, Phoenix, obviously, Devin Booker, Aiden, they had an incredible bubble, and they added Chris Paul. Where do you see them real quick?
One and done.
One and done. Yeah. Do you think they can crack into the top 5 in the West with Chris Paul? No.
No. 5 years ago with Chris Paul, yeah. Chris Paul. Here's the thing: Father Time is undefeated, and Chris Paul keeps trying to reinvent himself. I really think he played lights out in the bubble last year. But one thing about Chris Paul, never getting out of first round. Nothing about Chris Paul.
He got out the first round.
His lack
Thanks
of
to James Harden.
Finally.
Thanks to James.
Last year. Okay, but here's the thing. Is his durability.
That's the
He's
question.
Using that very durable. Again, you played, and then you had a long rest. Then you went in the bubble, and then they will excel. You're still older. Let me see you do it 82-game season. You know, running up and down the court. You tend to rub your teammates the wrong way. We've got Devin Booker who's playing lights out ball. He's on his way to being a superstar. Let me see how you gel with him. Let me see how you play with him first. Let's see if Aiden is okay with the way you try to orchestrate the offense and order him around. Let's see how he reacts to that. There's a reason why Chris Paul had never won a damn championship, and he's been going back and forth. So let me see what he does first. I'm not going to sit around and just anoint him and say, okay, because he came to Phoenix. Now Phoenix is automatically a playoff contender, a top 5 team coming out the West. No, not just because you got a 37, 38-year-old Chris Paul. No, you may as well have me out there.
I think you aged him a bit. But speaking of teams that aren't getting a lot of shine in this offseason, the Boston Celtics, you know, Tatum, Brown, Kimba. What do you see them? Brad Stevens, you know, they were the team on the rise for many years, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump. So, what do you see their season going?
The East is getting tougher.
Absolutely.
East is getting tougher. And the thing about it is, do these guys want it enough? They brought in Kemba Walker, and Kemba Walker is an adequate player. I give you that. What has he ever won?
Right.
Well, and we're not talking about the championship he had at Connecticut. I'm talking about in the pros. He played with Charlotte. And he was the best player for years. And that's only because Michael Jeffrey Jordan ain't got a clue about talent and don't care nothing about putting a great team around you and let him walk for nothing. He came to Boston. But here's the thing. Boston needed, I think, another veteran who could come in and really could help shake things up. Walker just wasn't that guy. Again, his durability has always been a problem, and I think some of that has shown in the playoffs. You know, he wasn't completely healthy. In fact, after everything was said and done, he came out and told him he was playing hurt
Right.
for that last round he was in.
Yeah.
But bless his heart. I mean, you know, he's out there trying to play for a team, but you didn't put them in a position to do anything better if you're out there playing hurt. And then Gordon Hayward, who just a shell of his, a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
Then he went out
Did he
there.
sign somewhere else?
He signed with Charlotte, and Charlotte gave that man $100 million. And actually, somebody needs to call the FBI because I think that he just robbed them blind. And or Michael, I don't know. I mean, Jesus Christ, Mike.
He's gonna give them a good
5 years, huh?
He's gonna give them a good 17 points a game. I don't know if that's worth a max contract though.
17 points a game. So you think
4 boards, 4
points
assists?
a game? 4 boards who?
Give me 4 boards, 4 assists.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
That's your boy Mike, man. That's your boy Michael Jordan making those moves,
Mike,
man.
That's Mike. I mean, Mike out there trying to sell tickets, and he's trying to put somebody around a reliable shooter around LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, LaMelo.
I can understand that, but I really think he overpaid for this dude.
What do you think we're going to see in year 1 for LaMelo Ball?
Not much. I mean, it'd be hard to reevaluate. It'd be hard to really evaluate because he's playing for such a poor team to begin with, and when you got a team like Charlotte Hornet, there's not a whole lot of expectation.
Yeah.
And so he's going to come in. He's going to shoot. It's going to be a low percentage from three-pointers. It's going to be a low percentage from inside 15 feet. You're just going to see a lot of freewheeling. You're going to see a lot of shots being thrown up. He's probably going to go in and play in a rookie all-star game or something like that. I don't see him being a big difference maker. I don't see him having the kind of year like Doncic had or anything like that. Just my opinion.
Oh, I feel you. And, you know, one team we haven't talked about, well, a couple teams we haven't talked about, but you brought up the Toronto Raptors. You know, do you feel like they're going to be a contender out east?
Toronto?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I mean, even without Serge Ibaka. Great teams loss, like that with with teams like that with Fred VanVleet, with and what's his name?
Siakam,
Lowry.
And
Siakam, with that kind of leadership and that kind of team chemistry, they're going to find a way to win ball games. They're going to find a way to continue to play well together. Everybody thought they'd fall apart after Kawhi Leonard left, and they didn't.
That's true. They did not.
Yep. I think OG Anunoby came out. He played a good solid role. I think he's only going to get better. He's still a young guy.
Absolutely.
You know, I expect him to do some big things this year.
Okay. And I think one of the biggest question marks, and well, maybe we know the answer now, the Golden State Warriors, you know, who coming off a really poor year, obviously had a top pick, James Wiseman. Still got Steph Curry, so still have a chance. Klay Thompson, Achilles injury. What do we see? What are we going to see from the Warriors this year?
Oh, man. I think that you're going to see them come out and win some games and get some streaks going. and people are going to be thinking that this is like that 72 game win Warriors, and then reality going to hit. Father Time is undefeated. Steph, great shooter, but it was hard to really guard and contain him when you had a lethal shooter like Klay Thompson on the other side. And you had Draymond Green who could come and help distribute, bring the ball up court, and he was also could shoot from the outside. Klay, because Klay's not out there, it's going to be harder for Curry to get the easier shot that he's always had. We've seen what Draymond Green did when both of those guys weren't there.
What do we
Very
see?
average. Very average. I didn't see much at all. I don't think we're going to see those that Golden State Warriors team we've seen that have won those games, that won all those games.
Yeah.
That had people thinking that this team was better than my Chicago Bulls from back in the day. We're not going to see that team.
Yeah. I was disappointed. I was really excited to see the new look Golden State Warriors with James Wiseman, and a healthy Klay Thompson, a healthy Steph Curry. I was excited about that. Andrew Wiggins, obviously.
I tell you this too. Had they known Klay was gonna get hurt like that, would they have taken James Wiseman? Or would they have traded that pick to get another veteran?
Yeah.
And their approach would have been different. I think that.
What veteran could they get? Who's out there?
Well, I don't know. You got a number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might have got James Harden.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking that. I mean, I don't want to think that.
You might have got a James Harden. You might have got some other picks.
Oh, that would hurt me. Okay, yeah.
I mean, who knows, man? You might have got a Steph Curry. You might have got some more outside shooting, because that's what you need with Golden State to really spread that floor. That's what makes Curry so difficult to guard. You know, when you could spread that floor, man, you couldn't really double team and play any gimmick defenses with him, because then that Klay's gonna kill you. You know, so now you don't have that. I'll tell you what, I know they're all getting a little older. I wish Klay nothing but the best, man. I'm hoping he comes back 100.
Yeah.
I think he should be okay, because like I said earlier with KD, one of the last things from a basketball player to lead them is a jump shot.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Reggie Miller didn't have no leg. They went, well, Lord knows he still drop a long 3 ball. Yeah.
Let's talk about real quick a couple of these teams that were kind of outside of the bubble last year. New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, year 2, right, of Zion. Made some moves this offseason. Like, what do you see that team? Well, let's start with, where do you see Zion going? You know, what's the year 2 going to look like?
Honestly, I think year 2, you heard it here first, Zion's going to regress.
Oh, wow.
Well, when you move Holiday, you move all them veteran players, and now you got him surrounded by a lot of guys that's only 1, 2, 3 years older than him. He's going to miss that apprenticeship. He's going to miss that mentorship. You're going to have these guys you're deferring to him, and you got to be like, I don't want to say blind leading the blind, but you got a guy that don't have any playoff experience. You got a guy that hadn't had any major minute. He was not a focal point of the offense at all last year. And now all of a sudden, you got Van Gundy that's going to come in and say, hey, we want to put some butts in the seat. We want some excitement. I just want you to get above Zion. And he's going to have to do a lot of things. And I just don't see him making that big leap. Not unless he can lay off of that New Orleans cuisine, commit, come back and you laughing, come back in tip-top shape.
I don't know.
You're going to have to be a killer.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of dog in you. And I ain't talking about that college rah stuff that we seen with Magic Johnson back in 1979 when he was playing with the Lakers and Kareem went out. I'm talking maturity on a much higher level.
I'm talking taking the initiative to keep yourself in shape because they're going to need you. If you're going to be out because of your conditioning and you can't play but a few minutes at a time, you're not going to gain a lot of respect that way. You're not going to be able to lead a team that way. So you're going to have to really commit and change. I don't think he's going to do it. Not this year.
Got you. The Washington Wizards missed the playoffs last year, but obviously they've replaced John Wall who did not play last year. But now they have Russell Westbrook. What do you see a Westbrook-Beal tandem taking the Wizards?
Unless you're going to get Wes Unseld and suit him up and bring him through that door, I don't see them doing nothing. I mean, that's just
you went way back. We couldn't. We couldn't do Weber Howard.
That's the last time they've been good. Chris Webber's not coming through there. Rasheed Wallace ain't coming through there. They ain't gonna do
Mitch
nothing
Richmond
else.
at this point.
Richmond didn't play for the Wizards.
He didn't play
for Golden State.
Mitch Richmond didn't play a season with the Wizards.
I thought he played for Golden State.
He played with Golden State first, then with Sacramento. He didn't play. He played a couple seasons in Washington, I think. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, you look it up. And you be sure and let me know the next time when we do this segment, you come back and say, DJ was right, Fat Mamba was right. He didn't do nothing.
I'm not saying he did nothing.
If West ain't coming through that door, they ain't doing nothing.
Cool. You can't get out of here without talking about Indiana, though. Obviously, you're there in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm not sure what to make of that team next year. I'm not sure where they fit in with the rest of the Eastern Conference. But, you're up there in Indiana. What do you think? What are you hearing?
I'm not above the Wizards. We gonna do nothing. You got Victor Oladipo, from what they're alleging, that he's talking to other teams at the end of the game, shaking hands, slapping them, and saying, "Hey, y'all come get me. Hey, y'all come get me." That doesn't do good for your fan base. Doesn't do good for your team. And then you got to come out there. You got to defend all that mess. You know what I mean, man? You can't even play college ball here, man. And when you were down in Orlando, then you went to Oklahoma. Then when you got here, we embrace you. You had all-star season. You got injured, and you haven't been quite the same. But you know what? I still got a number 4 jersey hanging up in my closet.
Yeah.
I still got nothing but love for him.
Oh, you great.
But it's kind of tarnished when I hear you sitting there, trying to climb in bed with the Miami Heat, trying to climb in bed with anybody that can get you up out of here. Like, we are your problem.
Yeah.
Get yourself healthy and come on back and play. One thing about Indiana, we had a nice team. It was team ball. It didn't really focus on a superstar, even though Victor easily emerged from that, being a star. And Sabonis coming out and really, I don't know if that's the problem, but Miles Turner, I thought Miles Turner played really well. And man, they were talking about trying to trade him to Boston. I'm glad he got to stay.
Yeah.
You got him, you got Sabonis. Man, I like what we have.
Real quick, let's go through some final awards and playoff results. Who do you have as your MVP of this season? Coming season?
Here's the thing. If LeBron is playing, because I know they had said that he initially was like, because they had a 77-day layoff in their back, that he, don't know how many games he's going to play. Won't really turn it on until it's right around playoff time. If you do that, then by that time, maybe Doncic is caught up to you. If KD's out there playing and KD's making a case, perhaps KD. I don't think AD could win as MVP with LeBron alongside, on the same team. No. They kind of cancel each other out.
Right.
But I don't know, man, because it's still LeBron's world, man. If he hadn't fell off a cliff. So if he comes out and he's playing and he's serviceable, might be looking at LeBron again.
Yeah, I actually think they're going to give it to 36-year-old LeBron James. I think if he replicates his year from last year, I don't see Kawhi. I don't see Luka unless Dallas makes some
I
major
don't either.
strides.
Yeah.
I don't know where Harden's going to fall. So I think but I don't think they're going to give it to Giannis for a third year either. So
No,
I
no.
think it might be
Not
King
unless,
James. Go
yeah,
ahead.
not unless Giannis can really make a difference and put a different stamp on that team.
Yeah,
You know, because he falls short in the playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah,
Because they really have no go-to move. I mean, don't get me wrong, a freak athlete. But then when you asking about can you deliver a championship, just like when LeBron was in Cleveland the first time, I do not think Giannis can bring the kind of talent around him in Milwaukee to contend for a championship. I do not think he can do it right now. Can he win one? Yeah, but he has to be somewhere else. And it won't be in Milwaukee. But I'm like you. I don't see him winning another MVP.
yeah.
Not unless he can just. His team has not only got to be winning in the Eastern Conference, he's got to have more wins in the overall whole scheme of things for NBA. Statistical category have to be up. Win percentage have to be up. Everything has to change.
How about rookie? Well, yeah. How about rookie of the year?
Rookie of the year. Well, here's the thing: if LaMelo comes out and can just go down to Charlotte and just shoot, got green light, everything else, you might be looking at him. Wiseman, I wouldn't count him out. He's going to play a major role, play a major minute for Golden State. Let's see what happens. I mean, it wasn't, but if he would have played the whole year out in Memphis, he might have went number one. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
Possibly James Wiseman. He's going to get a lot of minutes. He may not get the touches and get the shot that that LaMelo is going to be able to come in and get, because LaMelo went a green light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, Wiseman.
Yeah.
Or Ball.
No, I agree with you. I do think Golden State is going to have to switch up their offense a bit. And I think they're going to use him, in a really prominent, legitimate way. I think he's going to have a chance to put up some really good numbers on a not contending team, but a playoff team possibly. LaMelo is going to shoot. He's got the green light.
Green light.
If he has some otherworldly numbers, maybe. But I think Wiseman's in a good position to take that. But we'll see. Maybe a dark horse somewhere. What's that?
What'd you say?
Oh, I said there could be a dark horse. Comes up a Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying? Type player. But so to close out NBA Finals, who you got, and who's going to win it all?
I got the Lakers coming out of the West, and if you have a healthy Miami Heat team, I got Miami coming out. Coming out the East, King James back to back.
Yeah. I have obviously, I think I said earlier, Lakers coming out of the West again. The East, I honestly think this year Milwaukee can put it together. I like Drew Holiday. I like some of the other moves they've made. Chris Middleton, I think, is going to even make another step forward. So I like them doing it this year, but I do think the Lakers are going to get them at maybe 4-1, 4-2, So I'll give it to King James back to back. So
now, one more tidbit, man.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Will LaGello, or whatever his name is,
Leangelo.
Willow Sticky Fingers Ball make it in Detroit?
Oh man,
really make that roster?
I think so. Yeah, we haven't talked about Detroit, but there's not much going on there. I think it would be a good story. I'm not trying to say he wouldn't earn a spot, but I think, just the story of the three brothers in NBA, may give him a bit of a boost, you know what I'm saying? So I think he'll crack the roster maybe on a short contract or something. I don't see him sticking, but, what do I know? What you think?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. NBA is all about business, right? Putting butts in the seat, right?
Right.
How many times have we heard LeVar, well, I mean, you might have all the brothers that want to play ball together. Detroit might be thinking, well, we keep him on the team and let him develop. Who knows? Maybe his other brother come. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it makes for a good story.
It's a good story.
I still think LeVar is a loudmouth, but I'm gonna tell you something. His dedication and sacrifice to his kids is like something we've never seen before.
That's facts,
I think that a lot of time he catches a bad rap because of his African American father, and because when you have Archie Manning, who turned around and told his son, "Hey, we ain't going to San Diego. We're going to New York."
That's true.
And made the pushes that he made, and the thing they had done maybe behind the scenes that we may not even know about. But that's okay. But then when you have LeVar that comes and does it, and his mouth don't help him.
No.
But the idea is this, that outside of old sticky fingers over in China lifting glasses, for the most part, he's done a really great job with
no
his
scandals.
Kids. No scandals, nothing crazy. If you ever watch the show on TV, you could tell it's kind of gimmicky, but you know what? I like the dynamics that I've seen on the show. It's very reminiscent of what I see in my own home.
Yeah.
Outside the idea that I ain't got no NBA players running around here, I wish I did. But you know, I ain't got nothing but love for him, man. I love what he's done. It really, it's a positive thing, you know, for Black males. If you look at it, for all the years that, I mean, shoot, man, what are the chances of you having even one son in the league, let alone three? Now,
Mike couldn't even do it.
And say, who?
So Michael Jordan couldn't even do it.
No, not with the bones he got. But even when you look at the holidays, I mean, the holiday families in there, you got three of them in there.
Yep.
And people try to say, well, nobody giving him all this hype, you know, because all three of them are in and their dad is quiet. And then I always go back and I say, well, you know, you ever heard of Richard Williams? Right. And he had two daughters, Serena and Venus. And he went to the library, checked out a book on tennis, and taught them girls from Compton, California, how to play, and made them some of the very best in the world. And you know, when he was on the circuit, there are people that had things to say about him too, very negative.
Right.
And maybe because I would say, because culturally, you weren't hip to what he was trying to give you. You know, because he didn't talk the same language you did. Because he didn't eat off the same plates and go in the same places as you went. So you had a problem with him, the same way you got one with LeVar. You know, but the bottom line is this. His daughter, is one of the best we've ever seen. Yeah. And we don't even need to use her last name in him. We just call her Serena.
Right.
And you know who she is. Who knows? He got three boys in there. Maybe we see them all in. Maybe we don't. But I do know this, that he's done something that is very rare amongst African-American males who had all their kids in Little League, who had all their kids playing high school ball, junior high ball, playing AAU and major college ball. He got three of them in the league.
Yeah.
No. Set them up for life.
Yeah, that's an incredible feat. I mean, you know, I think it's a testament to his hard work and dedication as a father. You can't take that away from him. You can't deny that, you know. And I do feel like, you know, he recognized the NBA, as you said earlier, as a business, right? And he did everything he could to just drum up, you know, stories, right? And storylines and buzz surrounding his kids, you know what I'm saying? And look what happened, right?
Yeah.
Three, you know. Yeah. Three either in the league or rotating, you know, around the league. I mean, that's just truly incredible. You know, he does deserve all our respect for that. His mouth is his mouth, but the results are the results. What can we say? So cool, man.
So Big L.
Yeah.
Let's do this again next week.
Let's do it again next week.
Another topic.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hey, and y'all, who knows what we're gonna talk about? Might be Chad Boseman. They might be talking about the Mandalorian. Might be talking about some baseball. Might be talking about my Yankees. You never know.
Oh man. I'm a Yankee fan all my life, right? Nah. Yeah. Let's do it again next week. Let's let's talk about something new. Yeah. All right, man. Doc and the
All
Fat
right,
Mamba. All right. I'll holler at you.
Peace.
Take care, bro.
Later.
All right.